And here we go. So StrifeCro spawning as our yellow Zerg player.
StrifeCro, and here we go.
I realized I had unpaused, and so I was like, oh, wait, no, I got to switch it over. Got to get to the game. Here we go.
Mr. Future.
Yes.
Mr. Future, who, strangely enough, I haven't seen anything out of him until recently. It was announced that he joined Team ReIGN, and, now he's playing in the IPL Team League. So quite impressive.
Yeah, and he's been doing very well. I mean, he had a very, very, very good game last time. Really knew how to hold that force field, was just perfect at the front of his wall on Tal'Dar and Malta. Was a pleasure to watch. And for those of you who don't know the map, this is indeed Bel'Shir Beach. So we have adopted a couple of GSL maps as well, not just the traditional ones from the first couple of seasons like Terminus, Crevasse, things like that, but some of the newer ones as well.
Is it just me, or does this map look like Turtle Rock from Warcraft 3?
I have heard several people say that.
I mean, it is
Scantipede degrees.
It is totally identical to that map. It's basically a complete rip. Just different expansion locations. I mean, they changed it around a little bit, but it is essentially Turtle Rock from Warcraft 3.
Yes. There we have finally going at the front of the wall now for Future. No real surprise there. Going to wall himself off to any sort of early attack from StrifeCro. StrifeCro has not really shown us yet. Okay, there we go. 14 pool is coming down. Bel'Shir Beach, of course, I actually really like watching it. I've enjoyed some of the new maps that have come out. Some have obviously been better than others from the independent map makers and organizations and tournaments. I do realize that a lot of people wish that we could have some sort of a standardized map pool across tournaments. But
you're telling me. I mean, it's absolutely necessary for the future of StarCraft.
Sure.
And not only that, it'll just evolve the games. I mean, you'll see such high-level games on maps. And not only that, people will develop more map-specific strategies if they're these dynamic 4-player maps, or they can be 1-player maps. They just have to be a little bit larger.
Right.
They can't be just like terrible static maps like Steps of War and Scrap Station and, even the 4-player map Delta Quadrant. I mean, just such terrible maps.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I love Thor dropping and tank dropping on Delta Quadrant.
So do
yes,
I.
No, I
yes,
understand.
So do I, but it just doesn't make for good games. And then even a map that I personally always hated and despised, Metalopolis, was the closest thing that we had to like a Lost Temple of old, or like a standard map that we could play games on. So we kind of gravitated towards Metalopolis, which was also a terrible map, and they finally got rid of that. So it looks like things might be shaping up towards a brighter future, but you never know.
To people who are asking for Puma as well, Puma was on the team when these were played. These were very recently played games, but it is up to EG's discretion to use him. So he has not been used thus far. This is Evil Genius's 4th player, now StrifeCro, but it is up to them whether they want to use him or not.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Puma in a lot of online competitions for prize money, obviously with the time difference, and then just scheduling and things of that nature. I think Puma is more their major tournament sniper. They're going to be sending him to all the huge foreign tournaments and then also representing them in Korea. So, it depends really on how serious he is about it and how dedicated he is. If he really wants to get involved in all the team stuff and participate in team leagues, then more power to him. But I just don't think that's really his role on the team.
And so, yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you as well. I mean, it's not like they're going to bring him out for every... I mean, anytime you see, like, a $50 clan war or something like that EG is involved in, you're not going to see Puma right there. So, here we go now. Looks like Future coming in for a little bit of an attack. He is going to kill one Zergling. And, that was a Zergling. Did he kill a larva,
was
too?
Was that a Zergling?
Yeah, he killed one
I
Zergling.
thought he killed a larva as well. I was like, why would he attack that?
And this queen is going to be able to kill the Zealot. No, the Zealot is going to back away, but unfortunately the Zerglings are going to catch up to it. Poor Zealot does go down. Nice little save there from StrifeCro, managing his 2 queens quite well.
That's actually a push that, once again, we haven't seen for quite some time. The early Zealot Stalker push. We were seeing that for a while, a couple months ago, but looks like Team ReIGN is bringing back the oldies throughout this tournament. That's twice now we've seen them bring back some really old school style builds, and now we have Future going with a 3-gate expand here. He does have the double gas, so he's going to be able to afford quite a few sentries and start building up on that sentry energy as he takes his Nexus at the natural. We see him do that right now. StrifeCro waiting for speed here. Gonna do a bit of an aggressive play, and now he's coming into the natural. Is he gonna commit? No, he's gonna try and bait some force fields, though. Yeah. I think he should have continued with that. He had an opportunity there to maybe do some damage or bait a few force fields.
The loss of 1 or 2 Zerglings is more than enough to make up for causing a round of force fields to come out.
I agree.
So I agree with you. I think he should have poked up a couple more times.
And he might be doing that right now. It looks like he's going to poke in once again, but now Future is... Well, now he's going to use them, strangely enough.
1 force field,
I was going to say that now Future has enough units to be completely confident in,
right.
in crushing that, so he's not going to, overcommit to a senseless force field.
We do have a third base coming out of StrifeCro, though, down at the bottom left-hand corner, so... Going pretty quickly to his third. He's just going to try and pin Future on this base for as long as is possible. Well, of course, Future does have his 3-gate expand up and running with plenty of units accumulating energy. And the longer these sentries sit here, the more valuable they are going to get.
No.
And that's going to... I'm going to punch you in the face live on television. No. I have no reservations against doing so, Taylor. I swear to God.
Whoa, hey. Don't bring the Viking out of Kevin, all right? Sometimes it comes out, but you just got to watch out. He's a very big man.
I just start screaming in German, you've gone too far.
No. What you really do when you're super mad is he braids his beard much like a Viking would in the old days, and he just swings it around and smacks people in the face.
This hallucinated Phoenix is going to see all.
Though.
Yep, there we go.
But what's he going to see?
Well, really not much. I mean, he sees Lair Tech coming up a little bit later than normal, and he does see the Roach Warren, I suppose, so maybe he'll react to that, but has not shown us any indication of doing so quite yet.
What a late layer from StrifeCro. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not going to be able to get speed or burrowed movement on the Roaches for quite some time here. He's not going to be able to get a Spire, so, what exactly is he going for here?
I don't know, man. This is kind of interesting. Future, I think, is trying to figure this out as well. He keeps sending in those hallucinated Phoenixes. I'm not really seeing anything yet. People in chat were saying that this replay is on faster than normal speed. No, it is on faster on our end. So if something is speeding up, I don't know if you're having buffering issues or something like that, but all seems clear here.
Yeah, it's
you guys are being treated
speed.
To a siren from San Francisco.
Well, sometimes we do hear honks and horns and other things around the casting area, but it's all down on street level, and we are in San Francisco. We're in the heart of the city, so sometimes things get loud.
Indeed. And unruly. But StrifeCro, he does have his second evolution chamber finishing up, and he is committing pretty hardcore to these Roaches. He's got Roach speed coming up. He's got +2 attacks, ranged attacks as well. Has not gone any carapace whatsoever. And he's throwing down a macro hatch. Where's that at? There it is. Okay, so macro hatch coming down at the third.
So he will have that additional macro capability here, and he is kind of running away with the supply right now. We are at 111 to 90. Future continuing to scout with these hallucinated Phoenixes, and I really like that from him. He's keeping a good eye on things, finding out exactly what StrifeCro's up to. He'll get a count on his Roaches here. He'll see the double evolution chambers upgrading away.
Now, with the last one, he put up the Twilight Council. This time he's researching Blink, which is beautiful. I mean, that's absolutely what he needs. Heavy Blink Stalker is going to perform very well against those Roaches.
And he's going to add a gateway as well.
And he's already got an observer so he can detect if they decide to burrow. So he is covering his bases pretty well, but StrifeCro is gearing up for quite a large push. He has a macro hatch down. He's been producing nothing but Roach upgrades, which leads me to believe that we're going to see a push incoming relatively soon.
Yeah, it does indeed. And StrifeCro, is he going to take a fourth base soon? Right around now would be the time for him to do that, or he might be committing towards a very strong, aggressive timing push here in the mid game, right as he finishes his weapons upgrades and his armor. So as soon as he gets that weapons 2 and armor, and he's building a ton of additional Roaches here, he's going to have a window of opportunity where he can do quite a bit of damage. Now, he's going to have to catch Future right as he takes his third, and it looks like Future is just now grabbing that, and it's going to be completely undefended.
Yeah.
And StrifeCro going to have a window of opportunity here where he can get in there and do quite a bit of damage.
Oh, and he was just moving to bust through those rocks and start making his way up, opening up those lanes of mobility for him. So StrifeCro going to make his way up to the top right, and even if these photon cannons get finished, nothing going to stop that. Well, with the exception of a bunch of hallucinated Colossi, apparently. So Future is going to feign quite a bit of strength. Those Colossi are starting to go down.
He needs to flash it, though. He needs to flash the strength.
Right.
He did didn't allow StrifeCro to see those Colossus, so they essentially did nothing there. And now StrifeCro coming in, gonna kill all those cannons, but he will see those Colossus and tuck tail and run. And that is a very good usage of hallucination right there.
And look at this, we have Pneumatized Carapace, and we have Ventral Sacs coming up, along with some Banelings and a Spire. So he's transitioning attack. He's going to move to drop play plus air units. At the same time, he's expanding to his fourth. And I've got to say, StrifeCro is playing a beautiful macro game as of yet.
Oh, absolutely, and that is the brilliance of StrifeCro's PvZ. He's just so good at that macro style. He can often run away with games. We see him maxed right now to Future's 131, but to Future's credit, that was a very, very impressive usage of Hallucinate, and once again has a hallucinated Colossus and wards StrifeCro off. StrifeCro trying to use a pincer movement right there, sending in the group on the left and then sending in the group on the right to try and catch that third with no defenses, but he wasn't able to do so.
At the same time, though, he's attacking back into the natural, denies a couple of pylons and a photon cannon, killing a couple of stalkers, but the rest
off
blinking
once
away.
again
Yeah, so he just wants to do whatever damage he can. He realizes he's ahead macro. Man, his multitasking is actually very good. He may be able to take down this Nexus. Looks like that's down to less than half of its health. That is going to fall, no matter what those stalkers do. Bye-bye third. At the same time, all of these pros were cleaned up at the main, so even though he was walking into force field, still very impressive play out of StrifeCro.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That multitasking was phenomenal. And now he's going to burrow those roaches, but there is an observer in play, and that's too bad because he could have used those to delay extra long. The third will go down, and StrifeCro has done more than enough damage here. Future still not having any real Colossus of his own. I'm not sure where he's headed right now. He does have that Dark Shrine, but that was scouted by those roaches that headed into the main, so he's getting Spore Crawlers now. He's also getting Spine Crawlers, and now bringing the Queens on the offensive. Not sure what they're for, just for some added transfusing or just
creep damage? I don't know, but anyway, so we'll find out. The Queen's just kind of making its way up. There we go, now starting to attack. Is transfusing a few of these. Very, very nice. He's got a second Queen with this as well. He's doing quite a bit of damage. Those 1-1 stalkers, not enough to hold up against these 1-2 roaches. They are forced to blink back. StrifeCro is continuing to do huge amounts of damage. We have our first few DTs being warped in, but would expect an Overseer pretty soon. Are there any on the field? Yeah, there's already one out, so StrifeCro will not take too much damage to that.
No, he's also got Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers in position to deal with the eventual DT harass, and it looks like he might just be pushing straight through here, if not winning the game right here, killing all of the Stalker count. And anytime you get to a situation where you're going tit for tat with a Protoss player and getting rid of all those Stalkers, that's so much more beneficial for the Zerg.
And he was defending his fourth base at the same time. There was enough Spine Crawlers up and detection to go ahead and stop those DTs that were trying to attack. They're going to move on to the next base, but StrifeCro's defended there as well. So he's playing so well. He's got another huge group of roaches over here to the top. He's already starting Future out of this battle.
Those DTs are headed into the natural where he was prepared. Is he going to go out? He's trying to get rid of the Spore Crawler, and he might be able to do so before it goes down, but another one will get dropped. And I can't help but think that Overseer is on its way over to the natural.
Well, I hope. Looks like another one being morphed in somewhere, but we'll find out. Anyway, the big attack, though, is these roaches moving up to the top right-hand corner, or moving from the top right-hand corner. StrifeCro going to make his way in, continue to pick off structures as he can, and really, he can just throw waves and waves of units at his opponent. If he denies any production here, yeah, I mean, and it's going to work.
Yeah, he can afford to replenish almost instantaneously. I mean, he's at 176 right now into Future's 94, and he's just been continuing to work that supply advantage and continue to attack over and over and over. And I think the minute he took the third, he won the battle of attrition right there. As soon as he dropped that third and continued to reinforce and send in these roach squadrons, and here comes another one as we speak.
Yeah, and all of these stalkers are so low on health. This next set here is going to tear through them, even with good blink micro. Future is going to run out of those eventually. There we go. Now the stalker number is starting to decrease. StrifeCro continuing to reinforce. There's the GG.